Moving cattle today. Oh boy. Graduating to the older pen. Come on, girl.
Anybody out like that black one right there?
So we don't always sort by age, but we sort by size, and that's what we were just working on, making sure everybody's about the same size per pen, that way nobody gets pushed around. Guys have been working on the barn more now that silage harvest is finished. They have the poles in for putting up the rest of that roof to make it look like this. You gotta take off the old roof. So they might work at that this afternoon if the rain holds off. They're gonna drop off the last batch of calves that we moved from the calf barn over to the heifer barn, and yeah, that's pretty much moving cattle, at least for today anyways. There's always cattle being moved, but let me show you the new babies that were born. So here's the new mamas and the new babies. New babies, huh? This one here was born today, and he was born the other day. He's a bull. This little guy is also a bull. He was born yesterday? What is today? Yeah. And this one here's a little bull. Didn't mean to get you up. This was born this morning. You shouldn't be over here, girl. Come here, watch out, watch out, watch out. So for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they've all been boys. We have 5 boys. Then again, the last several have been girls, so it always equals out. We usually get half and half. Well, we're parting this thing out.
Yeah. 1988 for 130,000.
So the motor that's in here is a Cummins L10 mechanical, 290 horse. Works really good.
Yeah, it's a strong runner.
Obviously, it doesn't have that many miles on it.
But it's the forerunner of the M11, if anybody's
familiar with that.
The engine. And the M11 went to electric injection and stuff. This is still the old, this is the PT system.
Easy to work on.
Yeah, well, yeah, I told you why we're getting rid of stuff.
You told me why?
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to tell them why?
Yeah, so you're supposed to talk about it.
Oh.
Go around and show the stuff.
Okay. I guess I know everything that's going on. I'm supposed to pay attention.
If we discuss it.
We discussed why you're getting rid of it?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, of course we did.
So what's the one reason?
One reason is because I want something newer.
That's your own personal reason.
That's my reason. Okay. So the main reason we're getting rid of it is, boy, you're putting me on the spot.
Well,
I think
one reason.
I think it runs well. The motor works good on it. It's just
fine.
older. It needs a new seat and a new steering wheel.
A new seat and a new steering wheel.
Yeah.
That's why we're parting it out. Wow.
All right, and the air tank. Okay, the air tank is getting bad, and it's not to be too trustworthy anymore.
Air tank can be fixed.
It can be replaced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that.
And I don't want to spend $600 to fix it or to replace it. So I will show you, since you don't seem to know or remember, the big reason.
I do know. I'm
the
just
big reason why.
okay. Let me think if I remember what you were saying.
All right, I'll let you think, and then you can show the audience.
The muffler has a leak.
Well,
Is that one of the reasons?
no, this is something that's big.
Is it what we're gonna do?
No.
Um,
I'm just trying to think of ways to salvage what I can out of it, part out what we can, and salvage what we can.
okay, but there's one main reason why we're getting rid of this.
There's one big reason. And I've told you several times. Obviously, do you listen to me?
I do, but you throw a lot of information my way,
Oh.
and so that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Does it have to do with something back here?
Yeah, I told you about it. Do you remember yet? No?
I mean, no.
No. See, there's
Just
one-
give me a hint. Just give
Well,
me.
it's right here.
Is something wrong with the rear axle?
Well, you see this hole here? You gotta start showing some stuff. Well, it's getting rusty, but if you notice, this,
Oh, you have an oil leak.
well, the rear axle on it, do you remember yet? Still don't come to you?
Not yet. You might have to remind me a little better.
What's wrong with the rear axle?
The rear axle has a seal out.
A seal out. For all the times I've told you.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I feel really bad. Can you
Right.
remind me
And if
again?
I shine a light on it,
Okay.
and I'll show.
It's kind of dirty, hon. Maybe if you would clean it, it won't.
It's not dirty, it's
leak
all
oil.
rust. You remember? This is all rusting
rusted through. Yeah.
You remember now?
That's rusting through.
Yeah.
So it's leaking oil.
Well, we've there's some holes in it too. We've tried patching it, but I can't. I'm trying to find where
Where you patched it?
yeah, but
It's okay. It would be hard to see
But,
on
yeah,
with it
it's-
being that dirty. We haven't given it a bath.
well,
not since
normally an
harvest.
axles, but it's pitting through where it's coming through.
So if that pits through and you can't fix it anymore, then what do you gotta do?
Well, either we got to buy a whole nother axle housing and then transfer, or I've decided between this and the rust, and we're gonna part it out and
Do some other stuff.
part the truck out, because there's a lot of good stuff on it that can be used, and we'll find another semi. Update a little bit.
Woohoo! Update. That's
So you
always
think
good.
the steering wheel and
You know, the steering wheel and the seat are very important.
yeah.
And
Aye.
the clutch is a little bit.
Clutch is good.
I
it
know.
just needs adjustment.
The clutch needs adjustment.
Do you know how to do that?
Well, you gotta do that from underneath, and no, I've never done that myself. I've helped you with it, but I've never done it.
So yeah, the frame rails are good, but it's a lot of rust. But it's 88.
Yeah, we bought this right when we got married. No, before we got married. You had this before we got married.
Yeah, I've had it for
97.
Yeah, 22 years. So
You're old.
It's 11 years old, I think we got it, but I bought it with a bad engine, and then we fixed the engine in it because that spun a rod bearing.
So you redid the engine.
Yep.
And then let's see, we had gotten married and then we bought the tandem. So they are exactly the same semi,
Exact same truck.
same year, everything. We actually bought it from the same
Same guy.
company. And yeah.
So now you remember the rusty rear end.
What?
You now remember the rusty rear end.
Yes, rusty rear end. That's why we're parting it out.
Parting it out.
So we're going to sell the motor.
Sell the motor, the cab, the hoods. We're gonna, the wheels are worth good money yet, so we're gonna keep all that. But fuel tank, everything's gonna go. So
Well, thanks for explaining it to all of us so we remember.
I thought you'd remember that though.
Oh, I do. Maybe we're just playing hard. Hard to remember.
Hard to remember?
Yeah. What's Sydney removing? The lines?
Yeah, the airlines. So yeah.
All right.
These are the projects.
Well, don't let me keep you from what you were doing.
Oh,
You weren't doing anything?
well, I was taking the radiator off.
Oh, okay. So the semi here, we've had since, well, before we were married. All the kids have rode in it. I've had car seats in it. Kids have slept on the floor in it. It has lots of memories.
Well, don't shed a tear.
I'm not going to shed any tears, dear.
Oh, okay. Thought maybe you would.
No, I won't cry. It does have a lot of memories though, especially driving with babies. Having to buckle those car seats in that seat, that was never fun. Then having the bigger kids sitting on the floor. It wasn't necessarily safe for all of them, but they rode many hours in there.
Well, there's a lot of family memories.
Yeah, lots of family memories. You. We hat. The hat came from one of our viewers, and the guys have been wearing them, so thank you again. Alright, since I forgot the reason why we were parting out the semi, I thought maybe I better make it up to Kevin and make him an apple pie for dessert after supper tonight. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make him an apple pie. I have the pie crust already made. The only thing is, I think I'm going to do it a little bit different than an actual pie, the way I normally make it. I know what you must be thinking. Can't I ever follow the directions or a recipe? I do have a recipe for this pie. It's called Crunchy Crumb Apple Pie, and it's the only recipe that, well, it's not the only recipe, but it's my main recipe. If I want to make an apple pie, this is the go-to recipe for me. So I'm going to do it not in a pie shell, but I'm going to put it in a jelly pan. So I'm actually going to stick it in the jelly pan, and see how it turns out. I know it's not as thick as a pie pan, but I have quite a bit of dough, and I can either make 2 pies or a jelly pan. We're gonna give this a try, and for anybody that is interested, I will put the recipe down in the description below where you can find all that good stuff. If you have any questions, everything's down in the description most of the time. So I do have a recipe. I have to keep it in this sheet because it's very well used, and I've been making it for many years, and I hope you enjoy it as much as we do. I have the apples already ready to go. I'm gonna roll out this pie dough, and we're gonna make pie. And hopefully Kevin will forget that I forgot. You know what I mean? Not a big deal, right? He likes apple pie. I use an apple core peeler slicer thingy like this. This just sections to the counter, just like this, and you can use it really easy. Makes life easy. You can use it for potatoes or pears or whatever, but then it just makes it like this, kind of, if I don't break them, makes it look like that. I just cut these up just like this, like right in half. Just cut it in slices like this, and it just makes little pieces like this, and that's how I make my pie. Some people leave it in bigger slices. I prefer smaller, I guess. I'm gonna get these all cut up, and I'll bring you back when I add the rest of the ingredients. Alright, my bowl got too full, so I had to switch out to a different bowl. I have all the ingredients right in here. Flour, sugar, cinnamon, and some nutmeg. That's all that it is. I'm going to stir this up. I'm going to stick it in my, my sheet here, and then I'll make the topping because this doesn't get a regular pie crust topping. This gets a special crunch topping, and I'll show you that also. Remember that the recipe will be in the description below if you want to make this. So just so you know, I didn't count how many apples I actually cut up. I was just kind of guesstimating how many were actually going to fit in that jelly pan. And so when I was cutting them, I thought, this looks like enough apples. If for some reason all these apples don't fit in that jelly roll pan, then I guess the kids will just eat them like a snack. That's been known to happen a time or two. Actually, probably about every time I make pie, they have to taste test before I put it in the oven. All right, it's time to pour this in. We'll see how many can actually fit. I'm having a bad feeling about this actually. Oh yeah. I can actually mound it, and that might be okay. Look at this. I'm gonna fit them all. And there's no kids coming in to steal any. Okay, so now it's time to make the topping, which is flour, it's white sugar and brown sugar, it's cinnamon, and it's butter. And I usually follow that recipe pretty close. A lot of times I like to add a little bit of oats to it, so it just gives it a little bit more texture, almost like a apple crisp topping. This is very similar to my apple crisp topping, and I just like it that way. So that's why I sometimes add oats to mine, but the recipe doesn't call for oats, so just FYI. All right, let's get that topping made. Okay, so here's the topping. It's pretty crumbly. I tried to mash it up. I like to use my hands when I'm doing it. This makes it easier. Some people will put it through a food processor. I just think that I don't feel like getting my food processor out and then having to clean it all up. So I just use my hands. And then we just put it on the top. Like this. I kind of pat it right down in there. I think baking it in a jelly roll pan is gonna work. So I'm gonna stick this in the oven at 350, and I'll show it to you when it comes out. Maybe when Kevin takes his first bite. We'll see. Here's what the pie looks like. I'll set this in front of you.
What's this for anyway?
You want pie? This is just dessert.
Oh.
You want some pie?
You're gonna serve me pie?
Yeah.
I could get my own.
You never get your own.
Yeah, you do.
No. Only when you're snitching.
Snitching?
You have to taste test it.
Is this some new secret recipe?
No, it's not a secret.
Well, I mean, something you come across.
I usually don't make a pie like that.
I know, it looks kind of neat.
Okay.
It's probably like apple crisp, ain't it?
No, it's just pie.
So I gotta do the taste test too.
Yeah.
Is there anything different from a regular pie? It's
No.
just in a...
It's just in my jelly roll pan.
What pan?
Stone pan.
The jelly pan. That's what they call it.
You call it a jelly pan?
Yes, don't you
You
know that?
can fill it with jelly. Did you make this for me because you forgot about what I was getting rid of the truck?